Kayla Got the 411. I'm back for a very special episode of Whopping Wednesday. I'm here with my new friend, Jess. Jess, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Just for Wednesday afternoon. That's about it.
Now, we actually met because I was on Brunch with the Boys show, and you were just so nice and kind. You just came in my DM. So, people, I am nice. I am very nice and welcoming. Only if you're genuine. And me and you would get to talking, and we talk, and we talk, and we talk about all types of stuff. And that's how we came to this episode. So tell us about yourself and what you have going on.
Well, I'm just a mom of 3 kids. My oldest is 26. My youngest daughter is 18, and my son's 14, heavy into football. Been single 2 years, been divorced. It will lead into that, but just working mom, average, love life right now. Don't really worry too much about what's going to happen and what's not in my life. So,
and you look great, girl. You look, like for real, like you look great. Like honestly, you look like a homegirl because I'm about to be 30. So when you told me, I was like, wait a minute, her kids are kind of up there in age. I would have never have guessed your age because you look amazing. Do you have any secrets for us, girl? Any kind of tips you can give us?
No, start early. I don't know.
You know what? I like that. I do. I had my daughter when I was 21, and I actually glad I got that out the way, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think I told you, or you had said I'm going to be a grandma next year.
Wait, you gonna be a grandma this
year? Yeah, I told you I'm gonna be a grandma next year.
Oh my God. Girl, that's gonna be amazing. What? Do you know what it is yet?
No, my daughter's gonna have it be a surprise, but I'm not gonna be called grandma. I want to be called Lala. So.
Oh, I like that, Lala. Yeah, because you look so great, Lala. But congratulations, that is a blessing. I'm always wishing for girls. Girls are amazing, love shopping and having a great time with girls. So we're going to be talking about dealing with narcissists, okay? This episode is called The Narcissist Tales. And how did we come across this? That little conversation I posted in my story.
Right.
Of that guy. Yeah, I may insert a clip in here for you all. So we got to talking about narcissists, and me and you talk about things that we've been through. Now, I haven't been through much. I'm still, God, please don't let any crazy people. But you have been through a lot, but you have learned from it. And a lot of things that you have been through, I think is a learning lesson for all women. So a narcissist, like what is your definition of a narcissist?
Well, I don't know if you knew, but there's really 3 narcissists that actually are titled, the covert, the malignant, and then I think it's called the overt narcissist. So there's 3 different sections of narcissists. It can be anywhere from they like the way that they look. They feel like, they have no rules. They have no type of empathy for people or compassion.
I'm so glad we met. Me too. I feel the same way. Yeah, because you have all the qualities that I lack, and I can't wait to feed off of them. Aw, wait, what? What I mean is that I think we're soulmates. At least I'm gonna fool you into thinking we are so I can manipulate your emotions. Excuse me? Come on, let's move in together. I want to wake up next to you every day so I can gradually withhold affection and treat you like shit behind closed doors where no one else can see. Oh, and the person you've been falling in love with? Just a mask. I totally made him up to make you addicted to me to confuse you about who I really am. What the fuck? Also, you're never going to be enough for me. I'm going to constantly cheat on you because, narcissists got to have their supply. All right, I think it's time for you to go. Oh, come on, don't be like that. I just want to drain you in every way possible so I can feel better about myself and how empty I am. All right, get out.
I think I've dealt with a few people, but also there are family members and friends who are similar to that way also. I don't know if you remember that post I posted to my story where the guy was explaining a narcissist guy, but he was speaking from a point of view as being a narcissist man, but he changed his ways. And I love his definition of it. Pretty much, like that conversation that you heard on my story where they live in a fairy tale. Narcissist tales. They live in a fairy tale. Like that guy, I was like, I'm engaged. I lied to him and said, I'm engaged. He's like, you still mine.
Yeah.
You ain't engaged. You gonna always be mine. A narcissist can't comprehend, like, I don't want you anymore.
Right.
I don't like you. Have you dealt with anybody like that before?
Yes and no. I mean, I was married to one for 7 years, but I didn't realize that there was a narcissist term to it until after I got out of it. And they live in this huge fairy tale. Nothing is off limits. You tell me no, I'm going to find a way to get around it, basically.
Right. Sleeping with a narcissist. A lot of us out there, you've been sleeping with a narcissist. And like this particular lady I came across on TikTok, she talked about how she was in an abusive relationship and the husband called the police on her. But her current husband now is the actual police officer that came to the house that responded. So She was talking about how she didn't. Yes, I have to see. I'm going to see that link to her story because it's amazing. I wrote her and told her that's so beautiful. So she didn't realize he was a narcissist because he pretty much made her feel like nobody else is going to want you like you need me. And that's why she stayed so long, because she had kids. They had that big mortgage. She felt like she could not move on without him. And narcissists, they are very manipulative. They will literally make you feel like you're this small.
Right. It's actually called trauma bonding. It's like the breadcrumbing, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then all of a sudden they just flip and you don't know what you've done. You don't know why. And it is the most confusing thing to go through.
It'll make you start thinking like, okay, there's something wrong with me.
Right. It's the gaslighting. The gaslighting terms. I never even knew of gaslighting until up to about a year ago.
That's why I appreciate online and all these type of shows and books and things like that, where they're teaching us what it is. Because I just thought that people were just crazy. I was like, you're crazy, you're delusional. I didn't know it was an actual term for it. Do you consider it like a mental disorder?
It actually is a mental disorder. And I think it's called MPD, narcissistic personality disorder.
I wonder if they have now, we talked about sleeping with a narcissist. What about being raised by a narcissist?
I haven't been raised by a narcissist. I know that my past childhood trauma, my dad is a narcissist, but I didn't grow up with him. It was very little interaction, but it was very toxic interaction. I noticed that with the patterns of my men. I was like, well, this isn't comfortable, but it was normal.
Wow. So you noticed as dating, were they similar to your dad?
Bits and pieces, yeah. When I started getting healthier, I started to notice those red flags a lot quicker.
Wow, that's deep. I know I had a situation with my mom last year. A lot of people don't know, where I didn't realize that my mom had all these things that was wrong with her, or that the fact she was battling drugs, to a family member told me. And my aunt said something. She said she's a narcissist. She's like Donald Trump. She just lie. And I said, that's crazy. Sometimes when you can lie so much, you start to believe your lies. Like you really start to believe them. And those are signs of a narcissist. So even though she said it as a little joke, I said, I had grew up believing that my family did this and that, when the whole time it was a big lie. And it really had me I went to therapy. We got a courage, going to therapy, talking to somebody, it's expensive. So budget your money. It really is. Have you did therapy?
Yeah, I did therapy for 2 years. I actually did EMDR. That's with the eye desensitized movement. That brought up a lot of stuff. I used to actually wake up from my sleep with night terrors. It's a huge like you said, I mean, it's so cliche to go to therapy, but I mean, it has to be supported because we grew up with such childhood trauma. If you don't get rid of that stuff, it is so sad and it continues to just go unless you break the cycle.
And even like what I noticed too when I went, there was a lot of stuff from my childhood that I did not necessarily remember about my mom, because when you so little, I was the only child, so I kind of pushed that stuff in the back of my head. So 5 years go by, 10 years go by. Now I'm about to be 30. I'm like, wait a minute, I remember something that happened when I was 9 years old that I must have pushed in the back of my head. But narcissists, they really will make you believe like they're like this angel. So we're going to move on to how to actually spot a narcissist for people who are watching, because I'm pretty sure people are going to enjoy this episode. This is a big conversation because a lot of people didn't realize that you literally got family members and people that you are laying up in the bed with that are narcissists.
Right.
So I sent you a few of the key points. Now, one of the things they say to spot out a narcissist is entitlement.
Yes.
They pretty much think that everything revolves around them.
Yes. And it's absolutely true. I mean, you are, once they hook you, it's, your world needs to revolve around them. When it comes to kids, it doesn't matter. Kids, work, it revolves around them. And it's just such it's almost like Stockholm syndrome.
And it's draining. I can imagine it's so draining too, because you have a life, you have kids, you may have things going on out there, people who are watching, and this person like, another situation I came across. You know how sometimes like the lady was saying, and I came across her video, she was like, her and her husband work the same amount of hours, they get home the same amount of time, they share both those kids. Why is it that he goes and lays down while she has to cook, clean, the kids are running around, helping her homework, because and she has to do that, but he doesn't care about all that. He just wants her attention. He wants sex. He doesn't care about what she has to do, and dinner has to get, and the kids are hungry. He wants to be tended to. A narcissist. Not realizing that there's other people in the world that matter besides you.
Right. Right. It's absolute truth. I mean, narcissists want to give off that they are the best parent or best partner, and some of these narcissists haven't spoken to their kids in years
and wonder why.
Yes.
Ding ding over here. And they wonder why, because like it's almost like you said a key word. You said they have their hooks in you. It's like they have their hooks in you. You're almost like in a trance. Like you're like, wait a minute. It takes you to snap out. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Now, I haven't necessarily been in a serious relationship with one, but I have encountered many of them, and I'm not afraid to admit this, people. When I see a red flag, I run. Okay, I don't want to stick around and figure out if you do this, I just run. So we haven't been in a relationship with one, but I've met plenty, and dated plenty who definitely gave me entitlement. Like I have a child and I work.
Right.
Okay, you text me and call me, I will get to you when I feed my child.
Right.
They don't understand it.
No, and speaking of like the text messaging and phone calls, that's another thing, is like it's a red flag. When they're going to continuously consume your day in text messages and phone calls, that's an abandonment issue with them.
And you know what's so crazy? That's actually number 6 on the list. I can't wait to get to that. Because that guy from that story that talked about the abandonment, that they hate abandonment.
Yeah.
Now, no one else's opinions matter. Narcissists, they talk over you. They interrupt everybody when they're talking. Like nobody's point of view matters but theirs.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure you've met men, they won't even let you get a word in.
Nope. It's like, it's funny because after all these years and then being away from it, I finally found my voice. So that's the most empowering thing, is like when you think back, like, damn, there's no reason for me to even say anything because I'm going to get talked over anyway. So let me just.
You're not coming over here. I have a man. What the fuck do you not understand? I have a man.
I'm your man. I'm gonna be your man till the day you die.
You are insane. Where's your woman at?
I don't got no woman. You always gonna be my woman.
No, I'm not. Listen,
you gonna be my woman when I come out here.
you got to grow up, we ain't seen or been intimate in years. You gotta let it go, bro.
Ain't got no problem. That's a good thing. That means
no, that means I've moved on. You gotta move on, bro.
I've been moved on. I don't know what you talking about. I know you ain't talking about moving on, girl. You was one of my dudes. How old you is?
You know what? Good night. Cause now you being disrespectful. I hope everything work on all right. But I'm going to sleep and I'm tired.
Sit here and listen.
Mm-hmm. And then you're not even listening no more. It's the same wah, wah,
Yep.
wah, wah, wah. Like, okay. It's like they almost get turned on by hearing themselves talking. They don't even make no sense. And if you all listen to the people out there, a lot of these narcissists, they repeat themselves.
Yes. Over and over. And you heard the story 100 times.
Right. Like, okay. But you don't even say anything. Why not? Because as soon as you talk, it's like they're gonna jump on you and get louder and louder.
Right.
Next, there's no such thing as rules to them. A narcissist person is most likely to, seek out special treatments. They always feel wrong. They're always violating or stealing or some type of way. Like they feel like they're above the law and rules.
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of
the
them,
victim mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And
a lot of them are sitting in jail now, realizing, okay, like you thought you was gonna get away with that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
A lot of serial killers too, or narcissists. King of narcissists, queen of narcissists too. I want to just point out men out here because men and women can be narcissists too.
Yep.
Like, do you know, I've seen this mentality. I don't know what's going on, but there's this new mentality amongst women where they feel like they don't realize, like, when the more they say it, they sound like narcissists. His money is my money. Like, no, it's not.
Yep. What's mine is mine and what's yours is mine.
That's a narcissist. Like,
yes.
Oh, he should buy me. He should buy me and do nice things for me, but I don't have to do anything for him.
Right.
Why do you think that? Ladies, like, look here. It's the truth.
Yeah.
But a lot of y'all have narcissist traits. The only thing is that men are starting to notice which y'all are.
Right. Right. And the female narcissist is like just as bad as the male narcissist.
Really? Because do you think it also has something to do with, we're normally women are supposed to be like the queens and men are supposed to take care of us. So you think that has a hand in it too?
Yes, but I think that you had brought it up one time in one of your shows, or you and I have talked about the pretty privilege. So that pretty privilege also, when you have a female narcissist, it's terrible.
Oh, when they don't realize they are. Oh,
yes.
Oh, that's dangerous. And a lot of oh my God, there are so many friend groups that are like that. They all, like your friend, like, oh my gosh, there are some of you all who have friends where if a guy pays you attention, like all of a sudden, no. Like, come on now, because I've had friends like that where if a guy is paying you attention, in her mind, she's like, he's showing her attention, like, look at me, like, I'm amazing. Like, you can't even get any shine. Oh my gosh, that was a great point.
Yep. Yes. Yep. And I've known one female narcissist. I've known many, but I had to deal with one for quite a long time.
Mm-hmm. Was it a friend?
No, it was somebody that I had worked with.
Oh, narcissists in the workplace. Oh my gosh. You know what? I don't even recall them. My current job, I've been here like almost 4 years, but definitely throughout my 20s, I was going to a new job every year, so I didn't stick around
to learn.
If you was a narcissist, like, I didn't stick around. But there are some people that get that particular supervisor or manager position. Oh my gosh. Don't let them get promotion. Oh, they think they're king and queen of the world. They take it so up. Everybody is below them. And what I've noticed in situations like that is that it only gets them so far in the workplace before people just let them go. Like, okay, you're just making everybody else uncomfortable. You guys to go. They never normally last that long in a position. Have you had any that you work with that lasted long?
Yeah. the last one I worked with, and hopefully she'll never hear this, but it was almost 30 years. And as soon as they retired, it was like a completely different work environment.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh no, I would have left. I can't.
Yeah, it was during my divorce or during my marriage, so it was a different experience. But now it's like, golly, you think back of that experience, like, I can't believe I went through that.
And it's at work. Like sometimes
Yeah.
you spend more time at work than you do at home. It's like I have to deal with you. By the time, I feel for people that have to deal with narcissists at work, and
Yeah.
you got to go home to one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine. Oh my gosh. And then, like you talked about, pretty privilege, fixation on appearance. Pretty much they like to keep up with the Jonases, also jealous and envy if you look better of them. Oh, we know those friends that if you look good and you're getting shine, they're gonna make sure to bring you down here.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't even have a little confidence because they're like, oh no. They know that their insecurity is allowing them to think that you look better than them and you're prettier than them. So they want to make sure that you know that.
Right.
A lot of groups have that like that. That's a toxic friendship.
It really is. You talked about the keeping up with the Joneses, I think in our bullet points, and it's the absolute truth. There were things that I didn't even realize that in my marriage where I'm like, well, why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do that? It was constantly, I want to drive a new car. I want the best of the best shoes. I want the best of the best clothes. And in the friendships, I've had one of those. It was just like, wow, like you can't believe that. It doesn't, to me, I'm fine in sweats and a t-shirt and dressing to the nine and being upset about who's dressed the way that they are. There's no point in even going out with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
bragging. It's not like, okay, I look nice. It's okay to look nice, but why do you have to make everybody feel bad because they don't have what you got, or they're not dressed how you're dressed, or they don't want to wear their hair how you wear it. They want to make everybody around them feel bad, but deep inside they love it though. They love it. They want to be best dressed. They want to look the prettiest and stuff like that. Those. Oh my gosh, I had a friend like this in high school. Oh my gosh, I don't want to say necessarily she's a narcissist, but if I got something, I'm gonna get one too. I'm gonna get a fur coat too. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I got a new cell phone. Oh, my mom will give me a new cell phone. I'm like, okay. I got a little summer job. Oh, my mom will give me. I didn't really notice it until another friend brought it up. What was so funny? She never got any of the stuff that she said she was gonna get. Like almost like a competition. Like, you got it, I want it too. And a lot of friend groups are, realizing that now that it's a turn. It all goes to jealousy. It's all the same thing. Jealousy, envy is all mixing a pot together.
And that's what I was gonna say. It's like that slight envy of what you don't have that insecurity about.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you don't have that insecurity, but I may, and I've got to try to figure out how to keep up with that. That's just an example. And unless you are so comfortable with yourself, it'll bother you.
It really will. It will literally eat you up, and you won't even realize it because you're thinking like, that's my friend. My friend wasn't there, hurt me.
Right, because genuine people, I mean, I consider you a genuine person, and myself as a genuine person, we don't think anything of it because it's like, we'll give you the shirt off our back. It doesn't matter. But narcissists and female friends like that are like, well, why the hell would I do that?
Right. Oh my gosh, that is so true. Speaking of coworkers, I'm not even gonna necessarily call her a friend. When I worked at the election office during the Trump election, she was clingy, very clingy. Like, and what I noticed about her was another girl started working at the job. She was very pretty. She had brunette green eyes. She was white, and all the guys liked her. And me and her talked like once, and we literally connected. And we still are cool on Facebook. We talked about how me you talk. That's how we still talk. And she was so jealous. Why are you talking to her? I'm like, she's cool.
Yeah.
Then she was mad because all the guys that liked her, they had their eyes on her, who was pretty, great personality. They all liked her. So I kept thinking to like, literally, she got to the point where like I would eat lunch. I got tired of eating lunch for her every day, Jess. And she wanted to eat lunch every day. And I'm the only child. I need my space. Like I want to sit in the car and talk to my boo, and I would hide out from her. And literally, like I literally end up snapping on her to the point like, you know what? I need my job. Okay. I need my job. I got my baby. I just distanced myself from her. She definitely had narcissists. Oh my God. They so jealous.
Yes.
And
you don't know why. I never knew why. And this is so interesting to me when I went through all my stuff, is like, I didn't really even start liking women as friends up until these last maybe 5 years.
Girl, I still don't.
And then I had to go back and be like, I never knew why somebody was so upset at me. I never knew why somebody even talked about me or had some type of feeling, because it never bothered me. So it's just the weirdest thing to be like so comfortable with yourself now and so aware of your surroundings, your emotions, and your behaviors, that it's like I could be by myself if I want to.
Yeah, it's growth. It goes into growth. Some girls, and I'm so glad I'm not like this. I've never been like this. I've always been like, my friends be like, oh, we're going to this party.
I know a trick that a narcissist uses to get you to do what they want. And if you're new here, I have narcissistic personality disorder. A narcissist will use subliminal manipulation tactics to get you to do what they want without asking you to do it. Typically, these tactics involve like triangulation, where there's another person involved, where if they want you to make changes without directly telling you to make changes, they will say somebody else does something better than you. Hey, look, she does this better than you. Like something like, damn, she's so good at giving back rubs or whatever. Dang. And then in your mind, you don't want to lose this person. You don't want to lose a narcissistic person in your life. So guess what you get good at doing? You start giving back rubs. And back rubs is just an example. It could be anything else. It could be cooking, could be cleaning, could be, giving them money. It's just a subtle way of getting you to do exactly what we want you to do without actually directly telling you to do it. So if you start giving back rubs without me asking you to give back rubs, I can always say, hey, look, I didn't ask you to do that. You didn't have to do that. Very, very sneaky and manipulative. Be on the lookout. Triangulation.
Right.
I don't want to go. Like if I say I don't want to go, I don't want to go. Like
Yeah.
I think I'm being the only child, spent so much time alone. So I like me. I don't mind spending time alone with me. I don't mind going to a bar and having a drink and some tacos and some, and I'll talk to myself. It's like when you have a friend that I like to say they act funny towards you. You know when a friend acts funny towards you, and you're like you keep saying, and they love when you do this. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
When you know it's nothing, so why are you acting funny towards me? I just don't have time for it.
You don't. And I think like that used to be me, like having to have somebody say, what's wrong? And then I needed to come and spill it out. But now, working through things, it's like, okay, I don't like the way that you did this. Well, your perception is different from mine, and my growing up is different from yours. So you might think something's okay and I don't. Well, let's discuss it as friends. People don't like the truth. People do not like the truth.
I agree. As friends, you can't tell me what I did wrong or what's wrong. Then maybe we don't need to be friends, because I don't want to feel like I know something wrong with you, but you won't tell me. Like then it's like, or is your insecurity eating up at you? Is that it? Because sometimes your friends, when the insecurity eat it, then they start acting funny because they don't know how to control it.
It's a communication factor.
My college roommate, we both were plus size girls, but my body is a more curvier than hers. And I think she was a little insecure about that. We would go to the mall, and I had a boyfriend. I wasn't checking for these guys, but she would like a guy, and they would just come up and talk to me. But being the type of friend I am, I'll try to direct the conversation back on to include her if they try to leave her out. We get in the car to go back to the apartments. She's not talking. All of a sudden, she's quiet. I'm like, okay, here we go again. It was time for my birthday, my 18th birthday. I'm looking, can you supposed to go out? She was supposed to drive. As soon as I walk with my outfit, I don't want to go no more. I changed my mind.
Oh my God. Having those friends.
I didn't get it. Right.
Right.
Yeah, not that she was a narcissist, but sometimes friends, sometimes when you feel little insecurities, they can take it out on you and they don't even realize they're doing it too. So
yeah, and as you get older, well, I guess in my experience, I've learned to just communicate with my friends more of like, hey, I didn't like this, or that's not how I see a friend. And you learn.
Do they receive it well when you come to them and let them know?
Yeah, and I've even had one of my very close friends tell me the same thing, and I'm like, wow, I didn't see it that way, but thanks for bringing it to my attention. Let me fix that.
And that's a good friend where you're like, oh my gosh, like I did that, like, oh, they feel some type of empathy. And narcissists, they don't have any feelings, they don't care about how you feel. And that goes to the next one. Like, all of these are rolling out perfectly. The next one is, it's everyone's fault. Right? They can do no wrong. Like, they can do nobody wrong. They don't know how to apologize. They don't see nothing that they did wrong. And those are the most worst people to even be around.
Right. It's the most unbelievable thing to say, you just knocked over my water. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. I just saw you. And I'm just using that as an example. And it is like, none.
They'll turn around and say, well, you shouldn't have had it right there. Putting the blame on you.
Yes.
They're insane. And if some of you all are watching this and you probably going to dislike because we are talking about you. Like, they don't see their own wrongs. And it's like, you kind of look at them like, you're in disbelief.
Yes.
You're in disbelief that people actually move this type of way. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. It's one of the most craziest things. And if you know somebody like that out there, if you're watching this, please let us know in the comments, because I know that people, like, even relationship guys or females that cheat and do things wrong, and like, they're a cheater, be like, oh, well, it's
you made me
because
do it.
You did this, and you wasn't doing that. So you're like, wait a minute now. How did your wrong turn into something I did?
Right.
It's like, insane. It's delusion. Just talking about it, it's like delusion.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
It's just unbelievable. Like I said, it's like, I don't understand it at all.
I think the more research I do, especially with doing this show, it helped me see more and learn more about it, especially knowing that there are different types, and that sometimes you can have partners, and family members, and friends, co-workers. And I even came across an article that sometimes kids can have it in them too.
Do you
yeah.
think that? Absolutely. It has to do with the parents, like how you treat them, how you're trying to raise them, and so forth and so forth. We all have some sort of narcissistic tendency. It's just what level.
As long as you notice it, I think that you got to notice what you're doing. You got to be able to check yourself.
Right.
You got to be able to check yourself. Like, okay, wait a minute. Let me get myself under control. The next one is the fear of abandonment. That is their biggest nightmare, is being alone. Like that voicemail you heard, I really don't know what is wrong with NO. It's been years since we've been intimate. It's been like 2017. I don't know what I think the fear of abandonment is. Like, whoever those other females that you were dealing with, they must have got tired of your mess.
Right.
But now you're alone and you just calling people on your phone. You don't got, no, it doesn't work like that. They hate being alone. Narcissists being single, nobody wants them. Oh, it's the end of the world.
I have never, it's always the narcissist that moves on quicker than the person that gets out of the narcissistic relationship. And it was always interesting to me when I got divorced. My ex-husband, man, he had a girlfriend I couldn't believe in that amount of time. And I'm not saying that I didn't go out and date, and I did have a brief relationship, but it's like, okay, I found out quickly I needed to go and continue to work more on myself.
Right. And then it's like, okay, when that situation didn't work, they just going to scramble to find somebody else. And then that relationship that work, they either going to go find somebody else, try to go back forward to somebody they already had. Like, the fact that you're telling a narcissist that you're going to leave them is over. No, they will rather end it with you. They don't want you to end it with them. They'd rather end it with you because they feel like they one up you. And I don't know. I think that's that's sickening too, Because it's not a competition when you play with people's feelings.
Right. But they only think of their own.
Mm-hmm.
It's their feelings, you know, they don't worry about how you feel, this and that, you know, the covert narcissist, he screams, yells, calls names, wants to just not, like you said, not have any words in there. And it's just like, wow, what did I do to deserve this?
Mm-hmm. They love playing the victim. Like, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Like, they'll come up with anything. Like, oh my gosh. Like, oh, my cat died. Cat, ain't nothing wrong with the cat. They just want you to feel sorry with them to avoid leaving. There's nothing wrong with that cat. Like,
Right.
they'll do anything. They just, like, it leads to the last one on the list. They live in a fantasy tale. Like, they believe they made up this entire story in their head, and only person that it's like their story. They're
Right.
gonna write. They're writing the chapter.
Yeah, it would, you know, there's always that story of a narcissist, and it was great. The marriage or relationship was wonderful. I have no idea what her or his problem was. Both of you? I mean, it takes two.
Mm-hmm. I think that's, and you know what's so crazy, going back to narcissist parents too. I think I was talking about this TikTok or something about, you know how situations where like there's a narcissist in a relationship and a woman, she's stuck in a relationship, the family will enable it. I mean, literally, they will tell this man could slaughter their daughter. And they'll be like, no, he was such a good boy.
Mhm.
He took care of her. He took care of the kids.
Right.
Like, okay, so, I get it. Narcissist parents don't raise a narcissist child. And now you all are just a narcissist family that nobody can do any wrong. He can't do any wrong. And
Right.
I'm pretty sure that case, unfortunately, that case with Gabby, I don't know, I got a little hint that that's where we're going to go. I could just see how the family was talking. I said, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Everybody sees that it was a problem except for you all. Okay.
Right.
Living in the fantasy world where this is not fantasy. You're just, I don't want to call them crazy.
It is. There is craziness, you know, the family is the biggest struggle to work around because, like you said, they do nothing wrong. It's always you.
Mm-hmm.
Yet this person has had failed relationships all their life.
Mm-hmm. Even like, you know, you can come to a family member and say, hey, I such and such, they're not doing this and not doing that, they're not doing that. And they'll turn around and put it on you like, okay, but what are you not doing?
Right.
Like, wait a minute now. Wait, like I just told you that this person was abusing me. You gonna put it on me? And there are so many women in situations like that where they can't even come to their own family or any family member because you're gonna put it on them.
Right.
That's another episode for another day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And the worst thing that I noticed on your thing, now that I think about it, is the worst thing that narcissists do is give you that silent treatment.
Ooh.
And they will not talk to you. It's like, I mean, you are a ghost. They are looking straight at you, through you, and they will not give you an answer of anything. That is the worst form of like mental torture.
Oh, so have you dealt with that? Like, what is their purpose? Is it kind of like they're trying to mind fuck you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way of saying it. It's just a control tactic. They want to control everything.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this episode has been so informative because I'm sitting here like, I swear, like, I'm already cutting dudes off left and right, but now I got some extra stuff to look for.
Yes, and you know, I've told you many stories, you know, about my dating life and so forth, and it's the truth. It's like part of me is like, well, let me pick up on this situation because I don't want to put it into this situation. And they show you. People will show you quickly who they are. And it was like, and I would be like,
they are, believe them.
Right. And I'd give people many, many chances until it was time to be like, I was the one hurt. So looking at those red flags and understanding and asking a lot of questions for me is huge.
You learn. I mean, it's literally, I think that even as women, especially, we can learn from each other too. Because just because you ain't been through that don't mean that you won't run into one and listen to somebody else's story and another woman what she's been through. It doesn't make her weak. It makes her strong because she went through something and she learned from it. And then she's here to tell you what she's been through too. I think that is very, very, very important. Even though we both dealt with different types of narcissists and stuff like that, but now I know from our conversation privately that we have, like, okay, if I come across a guy, okay, I can kind of spot out some things that maybe I didn't know. But this is a whole new terminology that we are learning, because we just thought people was foolish and crazy.
Right. Yeah. And, like you said, you just learned it over the last year. I had no idea what narcissists were until, I finally left.
Mm-hmm. And TikTok, I know people, these TikToks, these YouTube little videos, they really are like teaching us, because a lot of people are being bold and open to come out and talk about their experiences, talk about dealing with narcissists. And also, like that gentleman that I posted talking about him being one for realizing he was one when his last marriage failed, even learning from it. You got to be able to learn. You all can change. That's the thing.
You do.
You can change. You can change.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you have to just be more aware of everything. That was my struggle and my issues is like, I didn't want to be a statistic. I didn't want to say, oh, I've got to go through therapy, or I have this trauma or this childhood issue, and working through those things is the most scariest thing, but it's most freeing, because then I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm by myself. I don't have that shame anymore to say, what, I was with a narcissist. I went to therapy. I also got a life coach, she was so pivotal in me getting my self-esteem, confidence, and just finding what Jess likes.
Right. That's great advice. That's leading into, like, as we get to the end, like talking about you went through therapy and stuff like that. Like, is there any type of tips that we can give other women? I know one thing for me is spending some time alone. It's okay to be single, you all. Like, I spent my entire 20s single. I'm not, like, people be thinking I'm lying. I've dated, I've been talking to them, but as far as having a boyfriend, no, I have not. After I got cheated on for 4 years, that literally brought me down all the way low. Okay, that brought me all, and I was too young with a new child to be dealing with that. So I had to spend some time alone. And once I started spending like 2 to 3 years alone, then it was time to date. I was like, I'm not going to get through that again. I'm not dealing with that again. So spend time alone. It's okay to be single.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely is. I'm so grateful for the last guy that I had a relationship with. We're still very friendly, but I'm grateful for the conversation. And when I finally got a chance to be by myself, to just sit in those feelings, emotions, and trying to work on myself so much, it's almost to the point where I'm like, oh, do I want to bring somebody into my life? Do I want to work through that again? Because it's scary. I'm sure it's scary for you. You were cheated on for 4 years. Shit, I was through something for 7 years.
Yeah, I really was. I mean, I think what it was. It goes back to the embarrassment. I was embarrassed because sometimes you're really embarrassed, especially when everybody else knows that you're being cheated on, and it's like you keep going back. It's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. So I kind of vowed to myself, like, I cannot go through that again. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people say I'm not careless when it comes to people. I'm just careful. So if you like me, you want to be with me, and I don't want to be with you, I'm considering myself.
Right. And you have to like look at it like this. And I said this today. I said, I got to look out for my well-being. Mm-hmm. What's good for Jessica? Mm-hmm. So a lot of people think that that's selfish. It's not, because at the end of the day, you only have you.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You gonna die alone. You came in this earth alone. You gonna die alone. And that same person is like, what about me? What about me? I feel, especially when you got kids. We got kids, okay? Mm-hmm. So I think when you have kids and you're a single parent dating, that's a whole different ball game, because you're not just dating just for you. You got babies that you gotta put in, because it's like a package deal. I feel like people who are just single, it's easy for you to, navigate. You can take little chances. But when you have kids, you can't be taking chances. Like, you gotta be extra careful.
Right.
Okay. Bringing a narcissist in your household, that can affect. Oh my gosh, that thing's about it. It made me think about something of my childhood. What my mom did with her partner. Bring her partner, just moved on in, just ain't even consult with me or anything. And the lady was just rude. You know, you can hear little negative things. You know how somebody's insecure in themselves, that we don't realize that grown people can be jealous of kids.
Absolutely. And I mean, as a mom, you have to figure out where your priorities are as well. You know, my kids are older, so yes, my priorities are on my kids, but I'm also getting to the point to where I need to put myself as a priority as well.
I love it. I'm starting to do that now. My daughter going to her dad's house fall break. I told him she was coming. Okay. So mommy needs a break, because sometimes it's hard sometimes to get out of deep depression when you're a mom. Because you can't really let your kids see you sweat. Okay.
Right. Well, and a lot of the times my kids saw a lot of things that they probably shouldn't have.
Okay.
And so, you know, but all my girls, they went through therapy as well, because it was important.
Wow. So did you? Oh, that's amazing. Okay. I think that's great advice. Like, not even worry about yourself getting therapy, but what about the babies too? Because they've seen a lot and they've been through a lot. And I'm 30 years old, people. I'm not 30. But by the time people see this, I'll be 30 already. But it's a lot of things that I'm still dealing with that I didn't even realize that bothered me so much, you know? Like little things that you hear as a kid, you know, little family members say this, or things like you push it in the back of your head. Now you're a full-grown adult and you remember it. And then it does something to you. Yeah.
It does. It sits with you for a long time. You know, I'm 42 years old, and there's things that I have to unlearn, you know, that it's not going to be done in a week. It's not going to be done in a year. It may take years, but I have to be honest and open with the people that, well, especially the men that want to date me. Look, this is me. Like, this is my list.
Okay.
This is what happens. You know, this. If you can handle it, great. If you can't, I'm fine with that. I may be alone for the rest of my life.
Right. I think that's amazing too. Just letting the person know, hey, I've been through some shit. Okay. You know, I'm not saying, you know, stick around for it, but just know that how I handle situations, maybe I let guys know why I'm a little stubborn. Okay. People say I'm a little stubborn. It's because I just hold on to my independence so much. And it's like, I want to be able to speak for me.
Right.
I don't never want to lose control. So I hold on to this. I may be a little stubborn, but I'm softening up. I'm getting better.
You know, and I'm learning that too. I'm learning to be more feminine. And people are like, feminine? You're a woman. Well, I'm a boss at work. I'm a boss at home. I'm a boss here. I'm a boss there. I want to be a woman.
Like that pose. You want to be with somebody that makes you feel soft. And
yes.
Trust issues. It's like, if I don't trust you, oh my God, that was such a great point. It's like we have to trust you as a woman that everything's going to be okay.
Right.
Like,
I feel safe.
Feel safe. Not just physically safe. I want to make sure that you are paying the mortgage like you said you're going to pay the mortgage.
And
I want to make sure.
Yeah, that's perfect, because that's the one thing, you know, that narcissists do. They will hold shit like that over your head. Well, then I'm not going to pay the mortgage.
Right. And then you come home from work and you got a letter on your door.
Right.
No, I can't. I just can't. Somebody that you know that, okay, if I come to them and tell them about how I truly feel, they're not going to hold it against me. They're going to listen and they're going to accept it. That's all goes to feeling safe. Now, do you have any books that you actually read that you can recommend?
Absolutely. The best book that I read was Power. And I know that I'm going to probably butcher her name. It's Shahida Arabi, SHAHIDAARABI. And it's called Power. It was the best book that I've ever read when it comes to narcissists. It gives you such a breakdown of everything.
Okay. Okay, I see it here with like a colorful.
Yep, with a bird cage.
Yes, I see it. Okay, I'm gonna save it. Bookmark this for Amazon, so I can put this in the link for in the bio for everybody to click and watch it. I'm gonna go get it from my book for Amazon too, because I like to keep books and read them on my little lunch break and stuff like that. Read a few chapters. But what did you learn from that book? Like,
you know, I learned a lot of the stuff that we've talked about. You know, how to handle a narcissist when you're leaving. you know, when what you need to get yourself in order, because it's almost like you're leaving an abusive relationship. I mean, you have got to mentally.
Emotional abuse is like, whew.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced physical abuse, but I know emotional abuse. When somebody just brings you down low, oh, it's hard to dig yourself out.
Yeah, very, very. And I had to just, you know, I had to find a support system that was just going to be yay for Jessica for whatever, you know, the crying, the why me, the why did he do this? Why did he do that? You know, it's everywhere. Podcasts, YouTubes, books, you know, I just filled my brain with knowledge of a narcissist. When I was reading.
That more people are okay with talking about what they've been through. You know, sometimes I'll be the first one to admit, I used to be embarrassed to talk about what I was going through. Like when my ex was cheating on me, I wouldn't even tell my friends. I know a lot of people are more open these days. I was embarrassed. They'll say, okay, I found out he's cheating again. I found something in his phone. I was too embarrassed, so I kept a lot of stuff alone. Like literally, I would, you know, go to school, go in the car, cry, you know, things like that. So I kept a lot of things to myself. So I think I'm glad we have open forums where women are able to talk about these things. But like, girl, I went through that too. It makes you feel like, okay, I'm not crazy. Okay,
right, or you're not alone.
I have somebody else who's beautiful, who's successful, but she went through it too, so we all can go through it. I think that's great. Oh, I love this episode. Oh, so how was that?
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was great. I appreciate you so much because you let me just come on and just tell you a little bit of my story and what I've learned. And, you know, I just am a supporter of women now. You know, whatever is supportive to women, I just want to do the, you know, it's that women empowerment. We all got to be a group.